Welcome everyone to episode 44 of This Week in Geek. It is Oscars Eve 2023. We are getting ready for the Oscars on the 12th of March. And by the way, the Oscars do need to return to early February, but that's another conversation for another day. I am one of your hosts, Ren Geekness, and I am joined as always by my good co-host, Zach Pope. How are you doing today, Zach?
I'm doing great, man. This is it. This is it. No more bullshit
It's all
until
been
next
building
year,
up
right?
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, until next year. Yeah. And it's going to be a packed year, so it's going to be interesting in one way or another. And in case you don't know how the show works, in case you're brand new to the show, thank you so much for checking us out, whether you're watching us live on YouTube or listening to us on any of your podcast platforms, whether you're going on a jog, whether you're in a commute, crushing hour at the gym, maybe you're Spider-Man, you're swinging around New York City right now, and you just want to listen to a podcast while you search for the villains of New York City. However you find us, thank you for finding us. The show works in basically three segments. The first is the weekly ranking segment, when we look back on everything we watched this week and rank it from worst to best. I started, Zach will follow through, and then we'll highlight some of your weekly rankings on the live chat. After that, going to the main topic of discussion, and today we're going to be discussing the Oscars. We're going to go through the nominees, what we think will win, what we think should win, and there's two co-hosts in the show, so the debate will for sure stoke some fires because me and Zach are bound to disagree, and that's part of the fun. But our favorite part of the show, your favorite part of the show, that's the latter part, the big finale, when we go into your questions. You have three ways of asking questions. You leave them on the community tab, you go through the super chat or the tip link in the description, where you actively support the channel as you ask great questions. We can't guarantee your question is answered if we go through the community tab, but if we highlight it, if you support the channel through a super chat or tip link, we will for sure shout you out, leave your question on screen, and answer your question immediately, or at least as soon as possible. So with all that housekeeping out of the way, let's get started with weekly ranking. And last week, Zach got us kicked off into that. So today, I'm doing it. As last week, I only watched two things, I believe. This week, I watched four things. Not a lot, I know, but still. And in last place, I finally got around to watch this on last Sunday evening. I had nothing to do. I was playing some Pokemon on my Switch, and so I put on Netflix's We Have a Ghost. And I don't hate this movie, but it certainly feels too busy. There's so much packed into an unforgivable 2 hours and 10 minutes. This film has no reason to be this long. And it's unfortunate because all its pieces are somewhat interesting, but they all kind of cannibalize one another, and none of them flourish. None of the characters flourish. In fact, most of the characters seem to be unlikable. And it has one of my least favorite movie tropes of old person who's frail and fragile and almost dying, but if they need to fight and be a threat, they are super strong, and I fucking hate it. I hated it in X, I hated it in here. And there's just so many questions, so many small plot threads that go absolutely nowhere. So this is a major, major disappointment from the director of Happy Death Day to You, Freaky, all really solid, enjoyable, distinct horror comedies. This one barely has any horror. Like, it's just a comedy. Don't let this movie fool you. So, out over from that, these are all movies I liked. These are all good movies I watched this week. And number three, or a number four, because I do have something else that is on my number one, is Scream 6. I really like this. I think the third act, it's the weakest part, and it's the weakest part because it feels too familiar in a film that is so bold and goes in so many brand new, fresh directions for the franchise. I don't hate the third act. I don't hate the like climax of itself, but it's just a little bit deflating. It's like, oh, okay, all right, cool. Where everything else is just awesome. It's going from strength to strength. And then when it peaks, it's at its least interesting. So that's the big issue with the film. Over that, I'm going to have the British rom-com. I can't believe I'm saying this. What's Love Got to Do with It? It starts Lily James. It has a little bit of When Harry Met Sally. It is a much better version of You People. I don't think you guys at the States have gotten this movie yet. But whenever you do, check it out. It is in many ways a typical romantic comedy. It's not reinventing the wheel of anything, but it has just enough spice in it to feel somewhat new and at least a fresher interpretation of A Tale as Old as Time. So that comes in at number 3. My number 2, I also finally watched this, A Man Called Otto, and it's very good. It's not quite great. When it leans into the darker aspects of its story, it is awesome. I love how this film was unafraid and how compelling, heartfelt really it is, and how it really earns certain emotional crescendos. Tom Hanks is wonderful as this kind of wet blanket sort of person, a curmudgeon against the world. But the more you learn about him, the film kind of tries to test how much can you like this guy, because you do understand his worldview, but it makes you just root for him enough. It gives him just enough humanity beneath the angst, beneath the disappointment, beneath everything that kind of puts you off about this person. It gives you just enough humanity in him that you're like, there's something there that I want to root for. And I think at times, certain pieces of dialogue, certain editing choices kind of undermine certain moments of the film that could have been much more powerful and could have elevated this film just a tad to be great. But what it delivers, I really enjoyed. I cried at certain points in this film, so I can't recommend this one enough. For context, I have not seen the original film. I have not read the book that it is based on. So this was just my first exposure to this specific story. And then one, The Last of Us episode 8. The penultimate episode of The Last of Us is just as incredible as all the better episodes of this show. And there's no weaker episode for me. This show is just banger after banger after banger after banger after banger. And next week, I will have a lot to say about The Last of Us. Well, not next week. Next week, there cannot be a show, actually. But we'll get into that in a bit. Zach, what do you got?
All right. So down at the bottom is a movie called Murder Mystery, which probably came out in 2019 or something. I have never seen this. The sequel's coming out, so I thought, I'll watch this. I didn't even look up reviews. I didn't know what people thought about the first one. Oh, it's not good. It's not terrible, but it's not good. I didn't hate this movie. I actually liked the first 30 minutes, and then it just gets stupid. It's just really boring, is like the way to put it. Like, it's fun at times, but it's very boring. And for an hour and a half movie, it felt like it was 2 hours. So it's not terrible, but I just don't know what Adam Sandler's doing with a lot of his Netflix movies. Up next after that, now every movie I say forward, I liked. So, because I don't know. This next movie is called Inside. It's with I
really want to see that.
I am not. So, just as a point of reference, this movie is incredibly well made. I'm not a huge fan of singular location films where someone has to survive for a certain period of time. I'm not a huge fan of those.
You're not.
Very, very picky. This is on the. You will fucking love this. I would be shocked if it's not in your top 10 by the time you see this. Guess
what? There's no release date for the UK. Yay.
Yeah, that's shitty. They literally just told us it was coming out next week instead of screener. This film has a very weird marketing, but it's a very incredibly made movie. It's just one that by an hour in, I'm like, all right, let's fucking move this along. And it's about 40 minutes longer after that. Now, again, I'm very much in the minority. I think this is a great film. I would give it a B. I think Dafoe probably gives one of his best performances. Cinematography is incredible. Production design is incredible. It's a film that's not for me. It's not my cup of tea. What was that one with Mads Mikkelsen in the Antarctic? I can't remember. Was it called Arctic or something? Do you ever see that one? I wasn't a big fan of that one
think
either.
it's Arctic, but I have not seen it.
Okay, yeah, that was another one I wasn't a fan of.
You said Mads Mikkelsen, it confused me because I know he did something in the Arctic, but then he has also a film called Polar, but it has nothing to do with the Arctic, where he's just kind of this assassin. I've never seen either. Yeah.
So a lot of people, if your jam is like, because I like seeing performances in these films because it hinges on them, and Defoe really does give it his all. It's just I get very bored, if I'm being honest, just by a little bit through it. But after that, I saw Champions. This is with Woody Harrelson, Bobby Farley directs it, one of the Farley brothers. It's not bad. It's exactly what you would expect it to be. It's heartwarming. It's got heart. It's got humor. And it took me back to like when I worked with some special needs kids. So I really liked it. I thought it was fun. And it didn't change the game. Will I ever watch this again? No. Never. But would I recommend it to someone? Yeah, I would recommend it. It's fun for what it is. Up next after that is Gridiron Gang. This is just kind of like a little fun one that I liked as a kid. And this is one of The Rock's like better performances. Like I watched the whole thing last night and I was like, forgot how like entertaining this is. So it's very well done. After that, I have The Mandalorian episode 2, season 3. Holy
I forgot to rank that. I told you.
Can I spoil it? Is it okay? It's been a couple of days. I guess I'm going to spoil it.
Give me a sec. Give me a sec. I was about to write, because I'm replacing it with a previous card. I was about to write Mandalorian Love and Thunder spoilers.
Okay.
There you go. Go ahead.
Holy shit. When you said there was a hook at the end of this episode,
I
was like sitting there waiting during my reaction to like, what is this hook? Is it that Grogu can do a lot of flips and drive off in his thing to save Mando? Is it that Mando is a damsel in distress this episode and Bo-Katan has to help him? Holy shit, there's a mythosaur.
Yep.
So my question is, who's fucking writing it? Because it's either Bo or Din.
Yeah, I think it's Din.
It's probably going to be Din. And he's going to hold the Darksaber. If that happens, I'm going to say right now, I'm crying right now thinking about it. But I will cry even harder if this happens. So, yeah. Fucking awesome. You can take the sign down now. That was great. No more spoilers from me. That was fantastic.
Told y'all.
And the weird like thing they have in there that they fight is really cool. I really dug that. It was like General Grievous's cracked out uncle. So,
little brother, cracked out little brother.
Yeah. Next thing I have is Shazam. I rewatched Shazam because I'm seeing the new one on Wednesday. Very excited. I love this original one.
I'm seeing it before you. Holy shit.
When do you see John Wick? Can you say or no?
Monday the
next
20th.
Week too? Okay, so I see John
20th,
Wick on Tuesday, and then I see Shazam on Wednesday.
Bastard.
When do you see Shazam Monday?
Shazam, I see Tuesday, Monday. So Monday I see Dungeons and Dragons, but there's a secret screening at Cineworld tonight, and it might be Dungeons and Dragons. I don't believe it is Dungeons and Dragons.
It could
but
be
a lot
John
of people
Wick.
are betting on it.
It could be John Wick.
It's not, because it's 3 hours long. In these secret screenings, you don't ask people to stay for that long. I think it's going to be 80 for Brady, whatever that means. But a lot of people are betting on Dungeons and Dragons. So I might be watching Dungeons and Dragons tonight. So yeah, who knows?
Were they doing a lot of press screenings out by you? They're doing 5 out here over the next 2 weeks for Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah.
I don't know, but when we first got the email, we got about it. So it was going to be on Wednesday, on the 15th. And then they sent, this was a mistake. Not a mistake, but they moved up intentionally, and it only comes out on March 31st. So there might be quite a few screenings.
There's a lot of faith on that thing. There's no embargo, so it's really interesting. Did you forgot to do 65, by the way? Lady Aaron just said that.
I did not forget, but I have not reviewed it, so I don't want to tell you where I place it.
That's okay. That's fine. I was just making sure.
But
Okay.
the review for it, I'm dropping my 65 review tomorrow.
Okay, sweet. So look forward to that, guys. So Shazam, I love this original movie so much. I know Ren's not the biggest fan of it, but this is one of my favorite DCEU universe films. I love Zachary Levi. I am a major fan of him as this character, and I grew up with him watching the show Chuck. So I always kind of hope that this guy like continues. If they do keep Shazam and the Shazam family in the DC universe, I hope so, because a lot of those actors are really well casted. I love Freddy. Freddy is like the heart of this entire story, and the only thing rewatching this movie that I notice every time I go back to rewatch this movie, I like it less. The film's pacing is very slow every time it comes to the villain. And it's like, usually I'd be like, oh, it's like, you know, they're not giving development to the villain, which this film does give development to the villain, but in like a very boring way. Like, you start the film off with the villain. And I don't know. For me, like, that's the one thing I'd still go very high on this movie. I love it. Up next, Scream 6. I think this is perfect. I'm actually even debating on if I like this more than the original. Yes, I know, blasphemy.
Wow.
But I did not grow up with this franchise. So take that as what you will. I saw the first one for the last year, or the year before that, for the very first time. So this film was everything I wanted. It's fucking bloody. They used New York in a very effective way. I love that they made me actually give a shit about the core four. I love the turns. I love how gory it is at times. And I think, like, while a lot of people didn't like the third act, I love how fucking stupid it is. I love how dumb and, like, brutal.
I personally, I don't like it because I think it's dumb. I don't think it's dumb at all. Like, it all ties together narratively really well. To me, and I want to say this without spoiling anything, like, there are aspects of the third act that I'm like, that's really cool. Like, these elements are really cool. But again, in a film that is going forward, and then pretty much makes you look back on the entire thing, and it wasn't going forward too much at all, actually. It like, I was talking with Bruna, because she was my +1, and basically it feels like a movie that gives you too many answers, where you could have let a thread loose and you already have a great idea for a Scream 7. And so then it could have felt like 5, 6, and 7 are a great trilogy in and of itself. And it might still do that in another way whenever 7 comes out. But to me, it felt very much like, you're a little bit over explaining things. Like, we don't need this much clarity.
Okay, I can understand that. It didn't bother me as much. It didn't bother me at all, but I can get where you're coming from. I really fucking dug the shit out of this movie. And I was talking to some people, and they thought, like, certain actors were, like, overacting in this movie, but I'm like, have you seen the other Scream films?
One of them really was in that third act.
I know which one you're talking
about.
One
of them really was.
I just, like, I don't know. I feel like, I've seen every Scream film at this point. Scream 3, there's a ton of overacting. Scream 2, there's a fuck ton of overacting. Like,
but this person, to me, personally, it stands out because, and we don't want to use gender identifiable words, so not to spoil anything, but this person is so consistently solid. And I'm not necessarily saying that this person going over the top is a bad thing. It's just that it feels inconsistent with the rest of their performance. Even in the third act, they will be super over the top, and then the moment right after, the next line of dialogue they spot out, it's meant to be authentic and more grounded and a little bit.
Do you think that was done intentionally by the directors, or do you think that was just an actor's choice?
I think the actor went for it, and I very much respect the actor for doing this. Like, again, I don't think it's a bad thing, but I was like, pick one or the other, because
but there's a lot of great
moments there where I'm laughing with them, but immediately I'm laughing at them.
The bodega scene with the shotgun that you've seen in the trailer,
so good.
Fantastic. The subway scene you've seen in the trailer, awesome. And even the third act, like the way Courtney Cox easily has her best scene in this entire film. Like I really loved her.
Yeah.
You see it in the trailer part of it. So I loved it. But my number one of the week was The Last of Us. This was the episode I've been waiting for because I love David, and it delivered in every sort of way. He was more fucking creepy. There's a lot of stuff you find out about him where I was like, oh shit, that's makes you even more of a weirdo. But I fucking love this. I can't wait for next week, or can't wait for tomorrow. And then next week on my second channel, I'm going to have a ton of extra content that's more like editorials talking about The Last of Us. So look forward to that. I'm going to do top 5 moments I wish we would have gotten in this season, which is more just gameplay. Let
me check if I have the screener for the last episode, because I'm not staying up. Obviously, I don't have. Oh no!
Do you not have it anymore?
Hang on. I don't. Huh? I thought they would have sent the finale. Oh well. Since I've seen it, Zach hasn't. None of you have. I will tell you this: the finale, during a sequence that comes straight from the game, there is a moment within that sequence that is not from the game. I had to pause that moment to take a breather because I was bawling my eyes out. It's one of the most emotional, well-written, well-acted, well-captured moments in any story I have ever seen. It's beautiful. It gives meaning to this whole journey we've been on with Joel and Ellie, to their whole journey with one. Is
it in the start, middle, or end? Can you just tell me that?
It's around, because I kept going back to it, so I remember somewhat the time code. It's around, I think, 18, 19, 20 minutes in.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm down.
So it's that.
Let's do it.
All right, everyone. And with that out of the way, let's go into your weekly rankings. And we start with Devin and Scott. Weekly ranking: number 5, Kung Fu season finale. Number 4, The Flash season 9. Number 3, Power Rangers Wild Force. Number 2, The Batman rewatch. Number 1, John Wick Chapter 2. Okay.
That's my favorite one.
John Wick Chapter 2 to me is definitely the weaker of the 3, but when I say that, it is still a 4.5 stars. Chapter 3 is my favorite, like by far. That's such a good movie. All right. Eric Thorpe reviews. Number 1, The Last of Us Episode 8. Number 2, The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Number 3, The Chronicles of Narnia, Prince Caspian. That's the best one, man. Come on. Number 4, Justice League Season 1. Number 5, Secret Origin, the story of DC Comics. Number 6, Gen 13. Number 7, The Chronicles of Narnia, the Voyage of the Dawn Treader. Number 8, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Okay. All right. Luis Feliciano, weekly ranking: number 4, The Rise of Skywalker. Number 3, The Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 2. Number 2, The Last of Us. And number 1, Blue is the Warmest Color. A comic book movie, for those who don't know. Weekly rank: Nathan Madigan. Number 3, The Sword and the Stone. Number 2, The Searchers. Number 1, The Rider. The Chloe Zhao one. Great movie. And that is it. That is it for weekly rankings. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for sharing your weekly ranking. And now we're done with that segment. So if you come in late, want to share your weekly ranking, go through the super chat feature or the tip link in the description. Let's go into our main topic, shall we? It is Academy Award. Well, not season. The season is coming to an end, fucking finally. And tomorrow we have the Academy Awards, which unfortunately this year I will not be able to watch live because I work the next day at 9 a.m., which is a fucking shame. But that's the way things have got to be. Unfortunately, it's not like Babylon is nominated for Best Picture, so I won't be missing much. Anyway, let us get started. We're going to go through the nominees. Me and Zach are going to name who we think should win, we think will win. Then we're going to go over who we think should win, and then we're going to discuss. We're going to give more time for the more important categories in terms of discussion, for the ones that feel less obvious here and there. We're obviously not going to talk about every single category like live action short, documentary short. Documentaries, I've not seen any single one of them, and I'm still missing 2 of the 5 live action animated short films. So we won't be able to go full deep into that. So let us get started with best visual effects. The nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water. We're starting with an easy one, by the way. The Batman, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, and Top Gun: Maverick. Zach, who will win in 3, 2, 1? Avatar: The Way
All
of
Quiet
Water.
on the Western Front.
Oh wow, you think
No,
so?
no, I'm
Or are
kidding.
you just
No, I'm
fucking
kidding.
with me?
It's
Okay,
Avatar.
okay.
So I'm just fucking with you. It's Avatar. If Avatar doesn't win this one, like all these had really good visual effects. In fact, All Quiet did really have, like, I saw their video they put together of the visual
The
effects. It was
breakdown.
really good, but it's Avatar. I mean,
It's Avatar.
the
Yeah.
only thing I could discredit this is they didn't show a good behind the scenes video, because I still believe that James Cameron had enough money to take them to another planet, had them film the entire film, and then they came back.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, this one feels almost too easy, where we can predict if they don't get delayed, we can predict like the 97th Academy Awards visual effects. Okay, that's going to Avatar.
it's literally going to go,
you know,
Dune, Avatar, Dune, Avatar.
Dune, Avatar. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, moving on from there. Best film editing. The nominees are The Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Tar, and Top Gun: Maverick. This one is interesting because to me, there is no clear one favorite. So let's get started with you. Who do you think will win?
So I did a lot of research yesterday because I'm taking this shit seriously. I'm trying to get everything right this year. One of them I'm still probably going to change by tomorrow, but we're not to that award yet. But editing, I'm going Everything Everywhere. They just won one of the editing awards. It just seems like this is the film that a lot of people are picking. But if I were to vote, I would have voted Top Gun: Maverick. That's where I would.
Oh, okay. Don't get into who you think should win yet.
Sorry.
Don't get into that. I also think Everything Everywhere is taking it. I think Elvis is the second possible choice. Like it's like this. I don't think any of the other ones are like close in this category, the way I see it. But Elvis could take it. In terms of who I'd give it to, same as you. I'd give it to Top Gun: Maverick. I'd give it to Elvis in second place. And then maybe even Banshees. The editing at points enhances Everything Everywhere, but it also damages too strong a word, I feel. But it also undermines a little bit of Everything Everywhere to me. So to me, that is going to win. I'm pretty sure. I'm like 80% sure it's going to win, but I think Top Gun: Maverick should take it. All right. So far, so good. You and I are in sync on who will, who should, blah blah. Best costume design. I feel like this is the first one we're going to disagree, not necessarily because we want to, but best costume design. The nominees are Babylon, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. I'm going to start us off with this one on who I think will win. And I think while Ruth Carter is an absolute icon of the industry, everyone loves her, and I will not be shocked at all if she does, but I think they're going to give this to Elvis. That's who I think will win. Zach, who do you think will win?
I have Elvis. I have Elvis too.
All right. So we agree. Now, let's go over who should win. And there's no question in my mind. There's probably no question in your minds either. You probably saw this coming a mile away. Babylon should
Babylon.
take this.
Yeah. Babylon should.
You agree? So it's your should win too?
I would do Babylon or Wakanda personally, or even everything. Because of I can't remember what they call Stephanie's character, but a lot of her costumes are very unique and cool.
Jobu something. I don't remember either.
Bagel person, bagel leader.
Bagel person. But yeah, to me, Babylon should take this. The way it takes you to a time and a place just by looking at the people. Not just their clothes, the quality of it, like the fabric of it all. You feel it just by looking at a person. You know exactly where you are, when you are. So to me, Babylon, I think Elvis is taking it, and that would be my second choice. Black Panther, I will have absolutely no problem with it. So yeah, it honestly, this is very much a four-horse race, honestly. And watch, tomorrow Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris is going to win, and we're all going to be shocked. All right, best makeup and hairstyling. Nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, The Batman, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Elvis, and The Whale. Zach, who do you think will win?
Elvis. I think Elvis has this one.
Ooh, okay. I think All Quiet is taking it.
That would be my second
is one of those that is in their bag, and it just slightly overshadows Elvis. Who do you think should win?
The Batman. I think the Batman should win this one.
I am actually going to go with Elvis on this one.
Okay.
I think Elvis should take it. What exactly we're saying about the costume design in Everything Everywhere, I apply that to Elvis for makeup and hairstyling. With so many characters, but even if you just look at Austin Butler, everything about this character and how every look transforms him into every single stage of Elvis's career and life, really, to me, this absolutely should take it. All right. Best cinematography. The nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, Bardo, Elvis, Empire of Light, and Tar. I'm going to go first on this one. I think All Quiet on the Western Front is also taking cinematography. I personally would out of the nominees, I would probably give it to Elvis, with All Quiet on the Western Front being my very close second. So I will not be disappointed, mad at all, sad, shocked, whatever, if All Quiet takes it, because it's really damn fucking impressive what they did visually in that film. Zach, who will win?
It's really funny because I actually think that like some of the best cinematography of last year isn't even on this. Like they wasn't even fucking nominated.
I agree.
So like this is like weirdly enough, like I have not seen Bardo. I've seen moments of it. So like I have seen, a lot of the cinematography, but All Quiet's taking this. I think Elvis is a dark horse. But I would, out of these, like I'd give it to All Quiet. There's nothing really much more on here that like totally impressed me. Like I still think the best cinematography of the year is Batman. Batman had the best or Top Gun. Top Gun. The fact that Top Gun still was not nominated on this, because if Top Gun was, I would have said that should win. But yeah.
All right. And from there, we go into production design. The nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, Babylon, Elvis, and The Fabelmans. Zach, who will win?
I have Babylon winning this.
Oh, you think so? Okay, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I think this one goes to Elvis. And again, feel like I'm repeating myself. I think it's going to Elvis with All Quiet on a very close second. Who do you think should win?
Babylon. with
I,
that,
I
without
I
a doubt.
will echo your thoughts on it. I think Babylon should win as well. I don't think
That
it's
the
going
whole
to,
sequence
but I
in the
think it
desert,
absolutely should.
like
Oh, dude.
deserves it nonetheless. Like that was the
Yeah.
sequence, like just the way they shot it and moved the camera and just I
Yeah.
mean, it's not like one of
It's
the most built out, but like the scale of production is like something in a
yeah.
blockbuster.
It was a real
Like,
fucking set. It was a real
yeah,
fucking set. They
yeah.
were out there in the desert. So yeah. Uh just you can name so many sequences out of this film that is just so immersive and all encompassing. That yeah, to me, bar none, it should be Babylon. Elvis would come as a close second for me on who should win, but I think it's Elvis that's taking it. All right, best sound. This one I feel is going to be a pretty easy one too. All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Batman, Elvis, and Top Gun: Maverick. Who will win? I'm pretty confident Top Gun: Maverick is going to win, but I don't think it's impossible that All Quiet on the Western Front snatches it last minute. Um, Zach, who will win?
Top Gun's gonna win this, but I'm with you. I think All Quiet could be the dark horse in here, just because
Yeah,
All Quiet got so many nominations. So there's a chance
that's
that
the thing.
for some reason more of the critic body or more of the Oscar body did end up seeing All Quiet over Top Gun, which is insane to think. You think more people would have seen Top Gun, but there's always a
Yeah,
chance that a lot of them didn't go and see it. So
100%. Now, who do I think should win? It is Top Gun: Maverick. To me, there's no question about. As much as we're questioning that Top Gun: Maverick will win, but All Quiet could come in. Absolutely, it should go to Top Gun: Maverick. There's no question about it in my mind. Zach?
honestly, I think it should go to either Top Gun, Batman, or Avatar because all of those really
Okay.
show the sound power, specifically in a theater. Now, again, I didn't see All Quiet in a theater. Elvis had really great sound, but like those three blockbusters, like whether it's the Batman's Batmobile getting lit up for the very first time, the sound design throughout that, or Avatar: The Way of the Water with
Mhm.
all the different creatures and the way that they kind of immerse you into that world. And then Top Gun, of course, it's just like you get goosebumps like the second the jets take off.
Every
Like
time.
there's
Yeah.
so many different moments. Now Top Gun has the more consistency of it all because it's a lot of it's flying and they can use a lot of cool things with that with the sound. So um it would be like a three-way tie for me on that one.
All right. Let's move on to Best Original Song. Nominees are Applause from Tell It Like a Woman. I still have no idea what this movie is. Hold My Hand from Top Gun: Maverick. Lift Me Up from Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Natu Natu from RRR. And This Is a Life. I still don't think this song actually exists from Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Stephanie's singing it at the Oscars. So,
Oh, she is. Okay.
yeah.
And by the way, we should call out the Joker too for ruining things because they are shooting this movie, and so Lady Gaga won't be able to be at the Oscars and perform this song. So, how many more things does this movie need to ruin? It already sucks. I hate this movie already for what they're taking away from me because Hold My Hand is winning this. Is absolutely winning this. I think the only other song that stands a chance is Natu Natu, but even that feels like it has lost a bit of momentum. So I'm going Hold My Hand. Zach, who will win?
I'm on the reverse side. I think Natu Natu is going to win, but Hold My Hand could win.
Ooh, okay.
Natu Natu wouldn't be my
All right.
person. I loved
Okay.
RRR, but I would like when I think of a song in a movie, I like more of emotion to it and like what does that song equivalent to the entire film. So I'm still stuck on Lift Me Up or Lift Me Up.
Ooh,
I'm still
okay.
stuck on that in the way that it was kind of this perfect song to come in right at the end of Wakanda Forever. But I think Natu Natu is the most fun one. I love that sequence. It's a lot of
Mhm.
fun. That would be my second choice. But yeah, I think Natu Natu's winning it just because it's the only award RRR got. Um, which makes me
True.
think that like this is the one that I think when people think back on their experience and their Oscar screenings they had, it's not to because most of the audience was jumping up and dancing. Like my friend went to like 3 Oscar screenings for these, and he's like, every time there were people just jumping up, dancing and singing and having fun. And he goes, I feel like that's this thing that's probably going to stay in a lot of voters' eyes and ears.
All right. I'm for should win. I'm going Hold My Hand. It's easily the best out of all these songs. Like nothing even comes close. Even when we strip that back the movie and just look at song, easily the best one out of them all. Who should win? You've gone over that.
Yeah.
So all right. Best original score. The nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, Babylon, Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and The Fablemans. Zach, who should win? Who will win? I think we all think the same.
We
so let's
agree
do it in
on that.
3,
Yeah.
2. We don't?
No, we do. We do.
Oh, okay. So
agree.
let's do it. 3, 2, 1. Babylon. It is Justin Hurwitz's world, and we're all just listening to his goodness in it. It is by far and away the best score of the year. I would say almost absolutely nothing comes close. The Batman score comes close, but it's not this close. To me, Babylon is just one.
It should have been, though.
It should have been. So yeah, this is absolutely a winner of a score in every regard. Might not be my favorite Damien Chazelle movie, but this might be the best score Justin Hurwitz has delivered. So to me, there should be no question about who will win, about who should win. Anything you want to add to that?
No, I think you nailed it all on the head, my friend.
All right. Have you seen any of the best animated short films?
So I was going to, but then I started watching My Hero Academia again. But I can't. I do have picks, so you can say them if you want. I just haven't watched them.
Because I've only seen 3. I still am yet to see The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse, which is on Apple TV Plus. And I'm yet to see An Ostrich Told Me the World is Fake, and I think I believe it. I have a link. It's on Vimeo to be watched. So either tonight or tomorrow in the morning, something like that, I will be finishing this list off since I only have 2 left. But just speaking out of the 3 that I've seen, I'm from The Flying Sailor, which I didn't like too much, My Year of Dicks, which is quite good, and The Ice Merchants, which is wonderful. I honestly think it will go to The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse, but I think it should go to The Ice Merchants. Again, speaking without having seen those 2, take that caveat into consideration, but The Ice Merchants is absolutely wonderful. And if you guys know me, you know, despite being Portuguese, every time we talk about Portuguese cinema in the channel, I say it sucks, because it does. There's barely anything good to ever come out of that. Like, you can count on one hand the good things we've done in cinema. This is one of the really good ones. So I think it should go to that. Zach?
I haven't seen any of these, so I just watched. I did some work yesterday. The Boy, the Mole, and the Fox, and the Horse is my pick.
All right, so we agree on that. Yeah. All right. We're going
Even
to skip
though
best
I
live
do
action.
want the Ostrich one to win. I want the Ostrich one to win, or My Year of Dicks.
Just because of the title.
That. Yep, exactly. 1000%.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even care.
Right. Without having seen it, there's a part of me that also wants the Ostrich one to win. All right. Best live action short film we're gonna skip. Best documentary short we're gonna skip. Do you have any picks for documentary feature?
Yeah, I can say those. There? I can say all these real fast. Live action short. Okay, Irish Goodbye. Documentary short, Stranger at the Gate, and then documentary features. I wish it was Fire of Love, because that's the only one I've seen. But Navalny is the one that's been winning awards, so that's what I think is gonna win. Yeah.
All right. Best international feature. I don't think we even need to go through,
No,
through the
we can
nominees on
just
this one
guess.
because,
Yeah,
yeah, it's all quiet on the Western Front. It's
yeah.
nominated for Best Picture. It got all these other awards that we've already talked about, a bunch of them. Like, nothing
Can
else
you
even comes
imagine?
close to this.
Now, can you imagine
Yeah.
a different one wins? Because there is a chance that people are like, "Oh,
Yeah.
it got nominated for everything else. I'm going to vote for it somewhere else."
If any of the others would win, I have my guess. Who do you think would win?
So I haven't seen any of these other ones, but I would say Argentina because I think that's the other one that's people have been voting for, but I could be wrong.
Argentina would be the third pick for me. I think close
Okay, that was
would
I
come
haven't
in
seen that
in
one, but
second
yeah.
place. Yeah. I've not seen any of them either. I have Argentina is on Prime. Close, I have a link to EO. I have a link to The Quiet Girl. I have access to because I'm in the UK. So yeah, but I have not seen any of them. Best animated feature film. The nominees are Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, The Sea Beast, and Turning Red. Lightyear should be here. Dragon Ball Super Superhero should be here and be the winner. But to me, I think Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio is absolutely winning. There's a part of me that ended up somewhat surprised, even at the time, that it wasn't nominated for Best Picture. Not shocked, but there was a part of me that it had some momentum going to that. But I think it's the clear winner out of these nominees. I think Puss in Boots got a lot of word of mouth. Marcel the Shell got a lot of word of mouth. Turning Red divided people, but the people that loved it, they really pushed for it, and it clearly is here. But I don't think anything has garnered the love, attention, and praise from audiences, critics, movie fans in general, and the filmmakers that make up the body of the Academy as much as Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. So I think it's a very obvious winner and a very worthy winner. Zach, who will win?
It's Pinocchio, which I really
Yeah.
liked, but it's not. It's my third favorite animated film on this list. And I
Oh
love it.
wow.
I love this movie, but because I all like three of these films were in my top 15. So
Mhm.
Marcel the Shell is my pick, but from I always like reading the ballots
It's
that
your
come
pick
out where
for
it's
who
like
should.
who who should win. Yeah,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
pick for who will win is Pinocchio. But I always like reading the ballots of like people who did vote and like what did they vote for, and every single person picked Pinocchio, and all of them had the comment of how is Marcel the Shell animated? It's technically live action,
Mhm.
which if you see the behind the scenes stuff, it's not. It is an animated movie. It's like the Lego movie type situation. But it does hit the mark to get in. So I think Marcel doesn't really have a chance because of that, sadly. Puss in Boots,
Yeah.
I think, is the dark horse here, though. I think if anything were to win, it would be
Okay.
Puss in Boots, just because it had that box office success. It's still
Yeah.
in theaters. It's still making fucking money. Like this movie should not almost have made $500 million. It made more than fucking Lightyear, a movie I thought was going to be $1 billion hit.
Yeah.
I was
Most
fucking
of us
wrong.
did going into it.
Everyone did,
Yeah.
yeah. Even if it was just fine, like I love the movie, but like
Yeah.
even if the movie just ended up be fine, like Pixar and Disney just have not been able to hit it with their animated features with like audiences, and a lot of that I blame Bob Chapek. This is my rant on Bob Chapek. You fucking put this shit on Disney Plus. That's what happens. Now everyone thinks these movies go on fucking Disney Plus first day. I'm done with my
Yeah.
rant.
For who should win for myself, I think it's Pinocchio. It is the best out of the nominees. I wouldn't mind it going to Puss in Boots, though I think Pinocchio is the superior film. So yeah. All right, for best adapted screenplay, and we don't have too many more, but let's speed it up a bit so we start the questions at or even before the 1 hour mark. Nominees for best adapted screenplay: All Quiet on the Western Front, Glass Onion and Knives Out Mystery, Living, Top Gun Maverick, and Women Talking. I think this is a 2-horse race. This will go to All Quiet on the Western Front or Women Talking. Right now, I'm inclined to lean in favor of Women Talking, but again, I don't think it's impossible that All Quiet snatches it up. Zach?
I think Women Talking takes this 1000%.
Cool.
And if you're asking about a
Awesome.
second
I hope
place,
you're right.
I don't have All Quiet. I genuinely
Ooh.
think if another film is going to win on this list, it's Top Gun Maverick. It's Top Gun Maverick.
That would be my second place for sure.
It's a simple.
Who
it's
should
such
win?
a simple script. It's so effective though. So,
But it's meat and potatoes filmmaking. It tells you
yeah.
an incredible story with characters you care about. It elevates stakes constantly. It sets something up. It pays it off repeatedly throughout the film. It's just one of the most effective screenplays you can read, like bar none.
Yeah.
No discussion there. Uh, it would be my second choice for who should win. I think Women Talking absolutely should win. And Top Gun Maverick would come in second place for me. All right, from there, let's go on to original screenplay. Best original screenplay, the nominees are The Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fablemans, Tar, and Triangle of Sadness. Let us start with you. Who do you think will win?
If you would have asked me this about a month ago, I would have said Banshees, but I think Everything Everywhere is taking this.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm at.
I think so too. Right now, for who will win, I think it is the clear favorite right now. So let's go into. But I don't think it's possible for Banshees. I don't think it's possible for Banshees. So let's go into who should win. To me, out of the nominees, I would personally give it to the Fablemans, with Banshees of Inisherin a quite close second. In fact, I wouldn't even call it second. It's a 1.5. Like, it's between these two. I would hope it goes to either of them, and I wouldn't mind either way. But I think Everything Everywhere is taking it. Zach, who do you think should win?
Banshees. Banshees was my favorite. Besides Women Talking, Banshees would have been my second favorite script. I love
Nice.
Everything Everywhere script, but I think that's more of a movie that is made on the screen itself.
Yeah.
And sometimes the script can get a little bit repetitive, but that's like such a minor nitpick.
All right.
But yeah.
Best Supporting Actress. One of the
God,
tightest races of the
dude,
year.
This is the one that I'm like, I have no fucking idea. I have no idea.
The nominees are Angela Bassett, Hong Chow, Carrie Condon, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Stephanie Sue. To me, who will win? It's a two-person race. This is between Angela Bassett and Carrie Condon, because Angela Bassett had all the obvious momentum going in, and then for the past month, little by little, in emerges little Carrie Condon from the burrow. She's like, hello, don't forget I'm here too. So it is very hard to pick. I still think it overall goes to Angela Bassett, but I don't think it's impossible that Carrie Condon takes it. Like, I will not be shocked. And she is wonderful in Banshees. Like, that performance grounds everything else around her. Zach, who will win Best Supporting Actress?
I don't know. I don't fucking know. A month ago or 2 months ago, I would have said Angela Bassett's taking this 1000%.
Yeah.
Then the BAFTAs happened and Carrie won. I'm like, well, fuck. Now it's between Angela and Carrie. But then the SAG Awards happen, and now Jamie Lee Curtis wins that and gives one of the best speeches of that night. I don't love the pick. I get this is more of a legacy type of award, in all honesty. But I think Jamie's gonna win it. And I mean, you asked me to rank these performances, it's my least favorite on here. Nothing against her performance. Okay. It's so much fun. But Jesus Christ, it's not an Academy winning performance. Like, Jamie Lee Curtis gave a better performance in Freaky Friday. But because that's the material she got for it. But for me, my pick, Stephanie.
Who should win?
Stephanie's my favorite performance in here. But it should be Carrie or Hong. Or even Angela. I don't fucking know. Everyone was great in here. I could literally give it to anyone else. This is just really weird. If Jamie wins, I'm not going to be pissed. Like, I genuinely won't be pissed because I'll be like, cool, she got her Oscar. That's awesome. Happy she finally got it. These other actresses hopefully have one more shot coming up. But I genuinely think it could be Jamie at this point because of that speech. I'm going off that emotional speech at SAG. You have people still voting for Oscars right then and there. They're going to hear that speech and they're going to turn right to it. Plus, Everything Everywhere is getting fucking everything.
Unfortunately, yes. Never mind that comment. Who should win? To me, it is Angela Bassett. Like, Carrie Condon comes close. I won't mind if it goes to her. But like, these are the two performances in this nominees list that are operating on an entirely different level above the others. Hong Chau should have been nominated for The Menu, not The Whale. Moving on. Best Supporting Actor. Nominees are Brendan Gleeson, Brian Tyree Henry, one of the most wonderful surprising nominations ever, Judd Hirsch, Barry Keoghan, and Kei Huy Kwan. And as much as it seems I'm crapping on Everything Everywhere All at Once throughout the stream, I'm not. It's a movie I quite enjoyed. And Kei Huy Kwan will win, and to make things faster, he also should win. I have no issues. This is the one Academy Award worthy performance I saw in that entire movie. He is wonderful. He is amazing. And yeah, he should get all the love he's been getting. And it should culminate tomorrow with a grand victory. Zach, who will and who should win?
I agree with you wholeheartedly. It should be Key. But if we are talking about Dark Horse Barry Keoghan, because he won the BAFTA, there's a chance he could come in and snatch it.
Okay.
But I doubt it. I think this is like, besides visual effects, this is
I don't think so.
100% lock.
Yeah. All right.
Actress in a leading role.
Best Actress. The nominees are Kate Blanchett, in the words of Quentin Tarantino, Ana de Armas, Andrea Riseborough, Michelle Williams, and Michelle Yeoh. To me, it is going to, in terms of who will win, it is Kate Blanchett. She deserves it. She is phenomenal. She is so much better than the movie itself, Tar, for me. And this is absolutely one of the greatest performances I saw throughout the entire year of 2022. And out of these nominees, she is by far the best performance to me. So she will absolutely win this one. Zach, who will win?
A month ago, I would have agreed with you, but I think Michelle Yeoh is winning now. She got the SAG. I go with SAG. Whatever pretty much won SAG is my pick. I've been burned in the past when I don't go with the SAG winner. So now I'm just going to go with the SAG winner. Kate's great. Kate is great. But I've seen her win. And I want Michelle Yeoh to win. And honestly, one of the best performances wasn't even nominated. Daniela Deadwyler.
Deadwyler.
She should have won. But
if she was nominated, this would be a tougher race to call for me. In terms of who should win, it's Kate Blanchett. For everything I said about why she will win, she absolutely should as well.
Let me ask you: if Ana won, if Ana de Armas won, or Andrea Riseborough, would you how would you feel? You wake up the next morning, you're about to go to work, you go to check the winners, and you see that one of them won.
If Ana won, there's a part of me that would be so happy for her, but in the long run, I would be very bummed that ultimately, beyond her performance, we went on to engrave such a movie like Blonde in stone for the annals of history. There's something about that I don't even want to get into that, why that's problematic and bad. And, Andrea Riseborough, I have less issues with that film than I do with Blonde, obviously, because it's just so bang average. And her performance is really good. If I tell you Andrea Riseborough is really good in the movie, you're not shocked because she's Andrea Riseborough. So for her to get nominated for such a bang average movie where she is really good, but not quite as good as to elevate everything else around her. Um, it just feels underwhelming. It just feels uninspired. This is the performance because it's not even her best performance.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Best actor. Again, one of the tightest races this year. Up until a month ago, it felt like it was Colin Farrell versus Brandon Fraser versus Austin Butler. Bill Nye and Paul Mescal are there. Right now, it's a two-person race. It's Brandon Fraser and Austin Butler. It's the two going head-to-head. And honestly, this is really tough because I can tell you the exact same thing for should and for will win tomorrow, or I could reverse it and it would still be true, if that makes any sense. Like, I can see Austin Butler winning, and there's a part of me that's like, poor Brandon Fraser, this comeback, the performance of a lifetime, and he doesn't quite manage to grab it. And then I can tell you, Brandon Fraser deserves it. Give him the award, blah blah. And then Austin Butler, who completely became an absolute icon. Such a challenging performance of not doing an imitation, not doing an impression, disappearing completely into a role to the point where people still think he's doing the voice. That's how good he fucking is. So I should have said this in the beginning, Zach, but I'm allowing each of us one tap out. This is the one where I'm tapping out because I it's between these two. Like, I don't think any of the other three have any chance, but to me, it's between these two. I'm tapping out.
I agree everything you said, but I do have a pick. I think I'm gonna change this tomorrow,
please.
though. I think I'm gonna change this tomorrow, depending on how I feel. But I do have Brennan right now winning. Again, going off the SAG Award, he just won it. He gave a fucking phenomenal speech at the SAG Awards. That's Oscar voting right there. A lot of people might hold off till they see the SAG Awards and because sadly that is how a lot of viewers do it, or a lot of voters probably do it, is they wait and see who else is winning at other awards for me to vote. Austin, I think, has a chance, and my only thing against Brendan at this point is because The Whale was not nominated for Best Picture. So there could be a handful, not even a handful, a lot of people who didn't see his performance, but they saw Austin's.
But again, the conversation of The Whale, even before the nominations, was so much Brendan Fraser that people might give it.
Might have.
Because it's not nominated for Best Picture, but him, right? He is the moment, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I definitely see your points. So, yeah.
We'll see.
Best Director, final two. Nominees are Martin McDonagh for The Banshees of Inisherin, Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert for Everything Everywhere All at Once, Steven Spielberg for The Fabelmans, Todd Field for Tar, and Ruben Östlund for Triangle of Sadness. And before you go into who will and who should win, let me just say, we're an underwhelming year for Best Director nominations. In one of the best years for movies ever. To me, this is overall a very underwhelming nomination list. For who will win, I think because of all the momentum, it's the Daniels. However, I can see Steven Spielberg as a very close second. Do not count Steven Spielberg out because the Academy loves giving this award to Steven Spielberg and not give him actual Best Picture. So I think the Daniels have the momentum. I think Spielberg is just behind them. Just behind them. Zach, who do you think will win?
Daniels. Daniels have it. And I'm really happy they do because I've loved their work. So give it to the weird fucking movie. I'm down for it. I love weird shit. I mean, Triangle of Sadness was fucking weird. I love that movie. I just watched that too, and I really fucking like that movie. But give it to the Daniels. Give it to the movie with the hot dog fingers deserves it.
Who should win, however, is Steven Spielberg. Out of these nominees, it is absolutely Steven Spielberg. No question about it for me. After him, I would give it to Martin McDonagh. And again, out of the nominees, after that, I would give it to the Daniels. They'd be my third pick. But Steven Spielberg absolutely should take this home. Zach?
They're my pick.
Who should?
Daniels are my pick still. The
Okay,
Daniels are
Daniels.
still my pick.
All right. And finally, Best Picture. The nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fablemans, Tar, Top Gun Maverick, Triangle of Sadness, and Women Talking. By the way, a lot of these picks that we went through could change during the night tomorrow, because it all depends on the momentum, not just that they've been gathering, but on the momentum
if
they
Top Gun
pick
starts
up
winning
throughout
every
the
award.
ceremony. If Elvis starts winning every award, if All Quiet on the Western Front starts winning every award, to me, who will win? I think it's very much cemented that. And again, if they don't win director, their stack on this lowers drastically. Like, it's not even funny how much their stock lowers in this if they don't get director. But right now, I would put them as bless you. I would put them as the favorites. Everything Everywhere All at Once, the Daniels, to take home Best Picture. Zach, who will win?
Everything Everywhere.
Now let's go into the real question. Who should win? And to me, for all the reasons and so much more that we went through in Best Adapted Screenplay, Top Gun Maverick should win. Top Gun Maverick, for all the reasons that we said before. And then not only that, when you talk about Best Picture, look how much innovation in filmmaking went into this film. The actual craft and technical aspects of putting everything together, everything in place. Cinematographers working with engineers, working with actors to have cameras in the cockpits of actual planes that the actors are actually flying, that then give life to incredible on-screen stunts. To me, it should absolutely be the Best Picture winner. There's no question about it. And I would realistically not count it out. Because the Academy, members of the actual Academy, members of the filmmaking industry legitimately loved Top Gun Maverick. And with good reason. So I think that right now, I think the Daniels are taking it. I think Top Gun Maverick has become a close second favorite. Zach?
Top Gun's the dark horse. Who should win? I still think Everything. I like how weird it is, but
all right,
I would love to see Top Gun win. I'd also, this is never gonna fucking happen, and not a million fucking years tomorrow. But Avatar, I mean, that was my favorite film of last year. So, yeah, it's really much between Everything and Top Gun. I genuinely think, like, if you're asking for who will win and then who's that dark horse that could easily sneak up. And I say that because, again, it's that preferential ballot. So, like, if someone puts Everything Everywhere at number one, but say, like, number two, every single voting member puts Top Gun wins. Every fucking Top Gun wins because has the highest. So it's very interesting 100%. How this could go. So we'll see. Yeah. I'd love to see Tom Cruise win. I'd love to see Tom Cruise fucking win.
All right. And with that done, that is our final predictions for the Oscars 2023. Set in stone. How good or bad this will age, we'll have to wait another, not 48 hours, but something like that. So with that down and out of the way, guys, let's move on to your questions. And again, there's 3 ways of asking questions. Leave them on the community tab. We'll do our best to get to as many as we can. But if you want to guarantee your question is answered, actively support the channel through the super chat feature or tip link in the description. All right, then we start with Crashing Coyote, who says, what will you do if All Quiet on the Western Front wins? I'm assuming wins Best Picture. I will be asleep because I'll not be able to watch the ceremony. But let's assume I was watching. I would be surprised because I can see it winning a lot of things throughout the night as we just went through. I don't see it winning Best Picture again, at least right now. It wouldn't be on the lower end for me, but it's also not the first movie I would give the award to. Again, that's Top Gun Maverick. Then I'd give it to, out of the nominees, Women Talking. Then I would give it to Elvis, and Banshees, and All Quiet. So it's right there in the middle out of the nominees for me. So I would be almost shocked. I would be really surprised as things stand right now if it wins. Zach?
I don't give a fuck. I just sit there and be like, okay, it won. Not my pick.
All right.
I could see it happening. I mean, it's has so many nominations.
I don't think it's impossible. Jigo EP, thoughts on Bob Iger talking about fewer MCU sequels with the mainstays and focusing on a whole new team of Avengers. So the first thing I saw was reactions on Twitter to this. I saw headlines and I saw reactions. And then I went on to read the article. And I'm like, certain people reacting on Twitter clearly have not read the article. Let's go through the second part of the question first. A whole new team of Avengers. We know that's coming. We've been waiting for a long time for that, because we know next time we see the Avengers, they're going to be, the core team is going to be very different from the original, because 3 of the originals are gone. And one of them is not even Earthbound at this point. The other one is semi-retired. In fact, 2 of the other ones, Hulk and Hawkeye, are semi-retired or on the sidelines. So when we talk about a whole new Avengers team, yeah, we know. We've known this for a while, everyone. And when it comes to less Disney sequels, less Marvel sequels with the mainstays, when you actually read through the words of Bob Iger, it becomes quite clear what he means. So let's just go through it, shall we? He says, what we have to look at Marvel is not necessarily the volume of Marvel storytelling, but how many times you go back to the well on certain characters. Sequels typically work well for us. He immediately recognizes that. But do we need a third and a fourth, for instance, or is it time to turn to other characters? There's nothing in any way inherently off in terms of Marvel brand. I think we just have to look at what characters and stories we are mining. And if you look at the trajectory of Marvel over the next 5 years, you'll see a lot of newness. Now, we're going to turn back to the Avengers franchise, but with a whole set of different Avengers as an example. All right. So what he says here doesn't say we are not getting more Marvel sequels. Doesn't say we are not going to stick around with old favorites. But he acknowledges that instead of, let's say, we get a Thor 4 before we get a Shang-Chi 2. No. Or we get a Thor 4 before we get a... what's a new character that's coming to Marvel's?
Eternals 2. Or Nova.
Eternals 2, but a Nova. It's a brand new character we haven't seen yet. Which do you prioritize? Giving us a Thor 4, or let's say an Ant-Man 4, or a Nova movie? He's saying let's prioritize that guy. Oh, you want to introduce Kang to the MCU in Ant-Man 3? Introduce him instead in Nova. Let's
or in his own
work
film.
around that.
Film. Do something different.
Or his own film. Yeah. So what I think Bob Iger is saying is that he's not completely rejecting the trajectory of things right now. He's just saying, let's broaden our horizons. Let's find ways to bring more of these characters. Because to me, the way he says this, to me, more than anything, also suggests, let's stop introducing so many new characters on TV. Let's bring new characters to the movies. Because then those new characters, people fall in love with them, and then they go on TV. Then people are like, I might sign up to Disney Plus.
Yep.
These Marvel shows might be something important. Yep. That's what he's saying to me.
And that's
so.
And
yeah,
I was just
going to say, I don't think.
you go.
Go ahead.
You
go first.
You go.
No.
I was just going to say, like, I think the shows have done a great job for some parts of it of introducing new characters that maybe wouldn't work great in their own way, but like, say our first introduction to Miss Marvel was actually in Captain Marvel 2, and then we get the show to go learn about her. There's a difference in there. Then that if Captain Marvel 2 succeeds, people will be like, oh, well, I wanted to learn more about Miss Marvel. So then they jump to that. Same thing with Moon Knight. Say you introduce Moon Knight, I don't know, fucking Doctor Strange 2. Say Moon Knight was introduced in Doctor Strange 2. That's a very intriguing character. Hey, there's a show for him now. They should go hand in hand, because the show should be used to adapt character, or to further characters out who don't have a movie, who maybe wouldn't work great in a movie structure, or maybe wouldn't do as well in a movie. But, you know, like Nova, for instance, shouldn't even be on fucking TV. That character should be in the fucking movies. Like, pure in and pure out. But if you want to go back and do a show on him, you could. You could be like, here's the movie of like the Nova Corps. But now we have a show that you can come and watch. Like, there's a lot of he's saying Bob Iger stuff. This is not stuff that he's not gone against. I just think he knows that, like, Chapek was clearly just, yes, these need to be done and put on because we need shit for streaming, where Iger knows streaming is not where the money is. People are going to sign up for the streaming service because they just want to watch our catalog of film and stuff. The thing to incentivize people coming is those series, is those specials. But in reality is, you can't get them to those if there isn't a reason from the movies. And we've seen it. When a movie premieres in theaters and comes to a streaming service, it does 10 times better. The Batman is still the highest watched film on HBO Max. It didn't premiere on there. So it really goes as far to show. And I think Wakanda is up there too for Disney Plus. I wouldn't be surprised.
It is.
So
all right.
Iger's talking the good stuff.
Yeah. And by the way, when he says I know he questions how many sequels we get, but to me, he's not saying we're not getting sequels, because immediately he's like, sequels do well for us, man. And he's the CEO, so he's got to think about that. I think what he ultimately means is further apart. And I'm going to go bonkers on this specific suggestion, but it's to make my point. Instead of getting a Thor 4 and a Shang-Chi 2, let's have a movie with Thor and Shang-Chi. I'm not necessarily saying I want this duo. I'm just saying bring characters together in small doses, and then the whole fucking group underneath.
And that's what they did.
The Avengers umbrella.
Yeah. And that's what they kind of do sometimes. Like Phase 3, they did a lot of that with Thor Ragnarok. You know, they had Hulk and Thor. Then in Phase 4, again, please tell me if I'm wrong, but when looking at the movies, the only movie that did have two major characters together was Doctor Strange, right? Or am I wrong? I'm trying to
off the top of my head. Off the top of my head, it was. I mean, the Guardians cameo in Love and Thunder, but I wouldn't count that as the same thing.
Yeah, because they weren't like a main character. And then like Spider-Man,
no.
Nothing really there.
Well, Spider-Man I wouldn't count because the other two Spider-Man are not.
Yeah, and I mean, you had Doctor Strange in there, so I guess technically.
Yeah, true. No, good point.
So it's Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, really.
Yeah.
Like, I don't count the Thor cameo with Guardians. I don't. Like Shang-Chi had Wong, but that doesn't count.
I would look at it as seeing more of the Marvels. The Marvels, yes, it's a sequel to Captain Marvel, but it has three characters together. It's bringing Captain Marvel, it's bringing a character from WandaVision and a character from Miss Marvel.
And isn't Nick Fury in there too? Isn't Nick Fury in that movie? I could be wrong.
I guess he'll be there, but I don't think he'll be a big presence.
But that comes from Secret Invasion and everything else. So that's like another character.
Like, tie more of these things together while telling your own story. So yeah. All right. GWB also asks, thoughts on John Bernthal coming back as the Punisher for Daredevil Born Again? Awesome. He's an incredible Punisher. He is the best Punisher.
Yep,
and
I agree.
Fits right into the world of Daredevil. That's how he was introduced in the Netflix universe. That's how he's introduced into the MCU. Zach, what are your thoughts?
I've known this is coming for like months, years. I mean, a year at this point.
I wouldn't say years, but a year probably.
A year at least. I've known he was coming back. It's the same thing of Kristen Kristen Ritter. Is that how you say her name?
Kristen Ritter. Yeah.
She'll be back as Jessica Jones eventually. Like, them three are
Don't
the
say
safest
where.
picks.
Don't say where.
I won't say where.
Okay.
But I will say that like those three are the safest picks. And I will say for everyone freaking out about Vanessa Fisk getting recasted, scoop is
Who gives
the
a
actress
shit?
just couldn't come back. So that's why they recasted her. So let's not freak the fuck out. And again, like you said, who gives a shit? It's an actor. They're paid to do a job.
Yeah, it's an actor.
We have Charlie Cox. We have Vincent D'Onofrio. Let's be happy with that.
We got the stuff that matters. Also, he asks, do you think he will be as Disney-fied as people fear? Do you think the Punisher or even characters like Daredevil and Blade need an R rating and go for a hard PG-13? You don't even need to go for a hard PG-13. I'm going to blow a lot of people's minds right now. In the comics, Punisher, Daredevil, Blade, they're PG-13.
Yep.
They're not
even
rated
Deadpool.
R. There are
even fucking PG-13.
Yeah, exactly. Even Deadpool. There are special stories here and there, like the Max Marvel ones. Max and the Max.
Like,
those are rated R. I'm saying the ongoing main universe of Marvel Comics, they're PG-13. All these characters are part of that universe. They don't need to be rated R. And I hate the term Disney-fied because it's like, what do you think about characters like, John Constantine becoming WB-ified? That doesn't exist. Why are we talking that? I'm not saying Chico P is saying this. I'm talking about Twitter. Twitter is a real villain in all our lives. So I just think that's stupid. Yeah. WB-ified. I'm going to start using that term.
No, but you're not wrong on that though, because like a lot of people, I have a friend who's like, "Why can't Marvel do R-rated films?" I'm like, "Because they don't need to. They don't need to do it."
Yeah, why?
He goes, "Well, why
should
DC
they do R-rated films?"
And I say, because DC has fucking R-rated comics. They have a lot more R-rated comics than fucking Marvel's ever done. I'm like, yes, Marvel's done R-rated stuff. Deadpool has had R-rated comics before, but a majority of his stuff is PG-13. Punisher, there's literally 2 runs of the Max comics. That's fucking it.
Yeah.
Other than that, Punisher is a PG-13 character. Daredevil, same thing. I don't even think he has a Max. The only character that I legit think has the most Max comics is Jessica Jones. Every comic of hers I've ever seen is fucking Max. So talk about she's gonna get Disney-fied. Like, she ain't getting fucked up by Kilgrave or whatever.
Well,
so.
If anything, people should complain that the Netflix show wasn't hard R enough for the Max comics for Jessica Jones, because it wasn't.
Yeah.
All right. Chico EP, what would be the Oscar win if it happens this coming Sunday that will get you the most upset? For me, although she was good in the movie, is Jamie Lee Curtis. If Jamie Lee Curtis wins Best Supporting Actress. You essentially asked me what's the one I'd be like most about, and would probably be
upset though.
You know what? No, it would be Paul Mescal for After Sun, because
no, you don't want to know if Babylon doesn't win Best Score. That would be the one that pisses me.
Oh, no, you're right. If
there's no other score in there that should win. There's no other score in there that should win.
You're right. Thank you for correcting me. I have no idea what and hang on, I skipped 2 questions accidentally, so I apologize. Lady Aaron, Ren, will put out a reaction on Twitter for your reaction on who wins Best Score? No, I will be asleep. But even if I was going to watch, I wouldn't be recording myself, so I wouldn't be putting up a reaction either way. Gico EP. So following up from his previous question on John Bernthal and the Punisher and all that, do you think the MCU is too family friendly, or another meaning too goofy? The 2 don't mean the same thing. After Quantumania, obviously some of the others I've seen people complain how Marvel seemed to try to be geared towards kids, especially the reliance on humor lately. Marvel has always been geared towards kids. But just like we talk about when Pixar movies come out, being geared towards kids doesn't mean you're exclusively for kids. Doesn't mean you cannot tell universally themed stories that have broad appeal and speak to every single one of us at every stage of life. And again, you're asking too family friendly, too goofy. The two are not at all the same thing. Too family friendly, not at all, because we go back to the question of, do you need to be rated R? And I don't think at all whatsoever, especially like within a shared cinematic universe. Too goofy. In that one, you really have to call it on a movie to movie basis, because too goofy will mean different things for Spider-Man, for Thor, for Ant-Man. Ant-Man can go far into the goofy territory and not feel too goofy for Ant-Man. Thor has a different level of goofy. Thor Ragnarok. Spider-Man has a different level of goofy. Moon Knight has a different level of goofy. So to me, it really depends on which specific character or which specific movie in this case you mean. There are elements of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania there are a bit too goofy, but I don't think the film as a whole is too goofy. So yeah, that's it might seem like I'm dodging or cheating kind of on the question. I'm not, but that's just the way I see it. Zach?
I don't really have any other words for it. You said it all. So I'll just
all right. I feel super smart. Lady Erin, what is your no guts, no glory prediction for the Oscars? What does this mean?
I don't know, but we just did all of ours, so.
Yeah, we did all of them, so yeah. Lady Aaron, what are your thoughts on the final Mario movie trailer that came out over the week? Didn't watch it, because it's the third fucking trailer for this movie, and it's still like little less than a month away, so I don't want to watch it. Zach, did you see it?
I don't give a fuck to, because the movie's only an hour and a half, so how much of this film have they not shown?
I did not know that. You know what? Might be the secret screening tonight. Secret screening tonight. I'll let you know.
I'll look it up.
It's not
well, I was about to say, I'd be surprised.
No, it's way too big to be it. Yeah,
it's an hour and 32 minutes with credits. There you go.
Oh, shit. It's 1 minute less than 65. Gico EP, what are your thoughts on Seth Rogen's take on film criticism nowadays and the whole discussion about how to criticize a film without coming down on people behind it, like directors, actors, etc.? I'm going to say something that might surprise people, but he's right.
Yep, I agree.
And when you read that interview, he's very
the whole interview, not just the headline. The whole interview.
Exactly. The actual interview. He's right. He immediately does not generalize. He doesn't say that this is what all film critics do. But he acknowledges it, and it's very true, that there's a continuously growing number of film critics who go down this path of destructive criticism. We often talk about what is constructive criticism. How can you talk about something, acknowledge its merit, the effort that went into it, but ultimately the final result is not up to par? That's constructive criticism. But there's a lot more people these days that continue down this path of destructive criticism. They don't care about the art form of filmmaking. They don't care about the effort. They don't care about the work that goes into it. They barely acknowledges it as a job, as a profession. And that's the problem these days. And especially, again, on Twitter, you're seeing more and more and more of it. And it's why a lot of us don't get numbers. A lot of us don't get respect. A lot of us don't get accredited on Rotten Tomatoes. And it's a shame, because a lot of people, unlike Seth Rogen, generalize what a ton of us newcomers and whatnot are doing with our take on film, with our constructive criticism, and we just get lumped in with those other fuckers. Zach?
Yeah, no, I mean, again, you said everything. It does suck. I think Seth Rogen's really much going towards the hateful and spiteful stuff of it.
Oh
Because
yeah,
sometimes
100%.
I don't read a lot of reviews or watch a lot of reviews that's not friends. Um, but when I do, sometimes I'm like, why? Like, I ask myself, do you like movies? You know what I mean? Like, I've seen some people give
Yeah,
like a movie a 2 out of 10, and I'm like reading their review, and I'm like, this movie's at least a 5. Like, you can not like the movie, but like on a technical level, you can't
yeah.
give it a 2 out. Like, I saw it also goes to any sort of criticism. Like, a gaming criticism's a big one. A major outlet gave Hogwarts Legacy a 1 out of 10. And I remember that review was going around, and they had, it seemed like they had an agenda to shit on the game because of a certain someone. That's okay to
Mhm.
feel that way and to have that personal grievance. But to attack a studio that made a game that actually works and you give it a 1 out of 10, like a 1 out of 10 is like the game can't even play. It's like fucking broken. So like those
Yeah.
are my things. Like that Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey movie. If I watch that movie, I probably fucking hate it. I probably hate it with my entire heart. Is it worthy of a 1 out of 5? Maybe, because it could be a piece of shit. But it's if the
Yeah.
film, like, you can always see glimpses of something because it is art. Everything is art. Everyone's going to see something different. I think Seth Rogen's take on it was absolutely actually real, because he's probably
Mhm.
made stuff that people shit on and even's made stuff that people loved, but there's always that one fucking person that just decides to tag him constantly, or people tag him, hey, have you seen this and shit like that. And it's the negative stuff that gets to you. It's okay to not like
Yeah.
something, but it depends on how you talk about it too.
All right.
So
Tu-tu-tu-tu-tu. Lady Aaron, what are your thoughts on the Suicide Squad Killer Justice League getting delayed due to fan backlash? Good for it. Stay the fuck away. I'm not getting this game. It's a live service game. I was disappointed before the Avengers game. I have no use for to waste money like that in my life. So at this point, unless they delay it and officially announce it's not a live service game anymore, then I will give it my money. As of right now, I'm not invested in this. Zach?
I think 1000% that's what they're doing. It's rumored it's not even coming
Yeah.
out this year. It's rumored it's getting delayed next year, which, for people who
Ooh.
don't know, the Guardians of the Galaxy game was originally supposed to be a live service game. What ended up happening was when the Avengers
Ah.
failed, Square Enix said, oh,
Yeah.
fuck no, you delay that shit. So how it was supposed to be was Avengers supposed to come out in 2020, and then Guardians was supposed to be like a gigantic $60 add-on story to introduce the Guardians into that world and to have the
Mm.
Guardians have their own story. And it would have been
Mhm.
this exact same story, but from my understanding, I think you would have been able to play as all the members. What happened
Yeah.
was midway through production, they're like, "Yeah, this is not going to be good." So they ended up shifting the entire thing like a year and a half beforehand. Got rid of the live service
Okay.
element before it was even announced, and then kind of went through there. I have a
Nice.
feeling Kill the Justice League is going to do, or yeah, Kill the Justice League is going to do the exact same thing here. It's going to be the
I
same
hope so, man.
gameplay. It's still going to be a 4-player co-op game. I'm excited for it for that reason. I just don't care about the live service, the battle pass, the stuff like that. I just want to be
Mm.
the Suicide Squad and kill members of the Justice League
Yeah.
and fucking Brainiac's crew. That's with my friends. Like that's what I want to play and get a good story because it's Rocksteady. So at the time of when they started making this game, I guarantee, it's a good idea because live service was at that. But now we're at the point in time in the end of the live service era where a lot of live service games are dying or not coming to fruition. And it's
Yeah.
very rare where only certain games are still living, like Fortnite, Apex Legends, somewhat of Call of Duty, and Grand Theft Auto 5's online is still out there working. But this is a game that does not need live service. I really hope they've delayed it so they can get rid of it, or at least tone back from it. Tone back from it a
Mhm.
lot. So
Yeah.
that's I gotta imagine that's why they're delaying it.
All right, Jico EP. Without going into spoilers, favorite scene from Scream 6. Also, who's your favorite Ghostface killer? Favorite
I already
scene from
mentioned
Scream
my
6.
favorite scene,
The
so it is with
opening
you.
sequence might be the best one out of the franchise. I will say that. Um, there's so many great sequences. The house escape sequence over the ladder is fucking awesome. the first time and this is not a spoiler because it's in the trailer, but the first time they see the shrine
Yeah.
is awesome. And with all the issues that I have with the third act, and again, there are good things about the third act, the climax, the final kill of this movie is
Oh, it's fucking great.
phenomenal. I love the final kill in this movie. It's so fucking good. So yeah. Lady Aaron, thoughts on Batman Caped Crusader being released by Amazon? I don't care who releases it, honestly. I'm just glad it is getting released. I'm just glad it is coming. I cannot wait to see this. Zach?
Same. I've actually heard, and I don't know if it's true or not because the source was kind of hit or
It got
miss.
renewed for season 2. Yeah, it's
Well,
true.
not just the renewal. That it's almost done. Like the first season's been almost done. Like the thing that sucked was that they were very deep into production, and then HBO Max like, yeah, nah, we're gonna cut that. So they do have a lot of apparently constructive work.
I haven't heard anything about it, but I wouldn't be shocked because it had
animation
been in
takes
production
forever
for a while.
Yeah, animation takes forever too. So I mean, look at Invincible.
Lady Aaron, thoughts on some of the movie trailers that we got over the week, such as Carmen and No Hard Feelings. So Carmen, I didn't watch, but I know it's Melissa Barrera, and she's awesome, so I will be watching. No Hard Feelings is fucking hilarious. What a great trailer. I went into this after I only watched it like after seeing everyone complaining about this. And like the very look of it, the fact that I haven't heard of it, the fact that it's coming from Sony Pictures, and I'm like, all right, what's this going to be? And I love this trailer. It is such a smart concept. It looks from the trailer like it's being executed in a smart way. The trailer is hilarious. It's really good. I really, really, really like this trailer. Maybe we saw all the best parts, so the movie might suck, but as a trailer, it's awesome. Zach, did you see Carmen? I know you saw No Hard Feeling.
I have no idea what Carmen is.
Okay,
but No Hard Feeling. I love Jennifer Lawrence, so I'll say this: this movie had the trailer had a lot of funny moments, but I think it's gonna go one or two ways. This is either gonna be a great comedy, or it's gonna be an overly long SNL skit idea. It's
gonna be a great comedy. We're betting right now.
So. I really like the director's previous work. I loved Good Boys.
Yeah,
I
Good Boys.
loved that movie. I hope this is great. It looks like it could be sweet, like in a weird way too, like just in the way that they're kind of
there's definitely an undercurrent there that you can see that only elevates its potential.
And why the fuck would Jennifer Lawrence sign up for this? Like she is a very picky person. Like so I don't know. We'll see.
Gigo EP, since the trailer for Jennifer Lawrence's No Hard Feelings came out, what are some of your favorite comedic performances from non-comedic actors or actors known for their work in other genres? Good question. Comedic performances from non-comedic actors. Ooh, that's really fucking tough off the top of my head.
Does Margot Robbie count?
Ooh.
Son.
In what?
Everything. Babylon. Sometimes she makes some funny fucking things.
No, like she's really funny in everything she's been, but she has not been in an outright comedy. So that's why
she's about to be in Barbie.
She's
about to be in Barbie.
True. I wish I could say I've seen it.
Let me say this: DiCaprio. When DiCaprio does fucking comedy, it works. I mean,
yes.
Wolf of Wall Street's kind of a comedy. What was the one he just did with the world ending? I fucking love that movie. Don't Look Up.
Don't Look Up. It's awesome.
He was great in that. No, I love that movie. Top 10 of last year.
Oh, you know what? You know what? Adam Driver, Logan Lucky.
Oh yeah,
hilarious in that.
Daniel
shit.
Craig. Daniel Craig too.
So Daniel Craig in Logan Lucky. Yeah.
And Glass Onion and Knives Out.
Yeah. All right. Gico EP, thoughts on Foggy and Karen possibly not returning in Daredevil Born Again and them recasting Vanessa? We talked about the Vanessa part. Honestly, I don't know how unpopular this will be. I feel worse for the fact that the actors are not coming back over the fact that the characters are not coming back, if that makes any sense. Zach?
It's not official that they're not coming back. They're on the
It's
roll
not
call
okay.
came out. No, the roll call. If people read the article, a roll call came out, which is the reason that we know about John now, is because he's filming. It seems like he's filming that first few whatever episodes, or maybe the whole season. Foggy and Karen are just not in the seat. Like it's weird. From my understanding, they have not been recast. It's the same thing with Vanessa Fisk.
Okay.
They recasted her because the actress didn't come back. I have heard, and I'll say this, I don't give a fuck. I've heard they've asked the actor for Foggy to come back. Karen, I could not, I could never get a definitive shit on. But I also put it this way. The girl who plays Karen seems to be the type, and she's pretty active on Twitter. She's probably been tagged in this news. I would imagine if she really wasn't coming back.
She was just in God of War Ragnarok.
She would have said something. Like she would have quote retweeted and been like, "Good luck to the cast and crew. I wish I was coming back, but I'm sadly not." There's 18 fucking episodes this season. Let's wait till we get to the end of it to see if they get casted or if more rumors come out. If it comes out that they're recasted, I'm just gonna assume they couldn't come back. Or maybe they don't want to. I mean, maybe they just genuinely didn't fucking want to. Or maybe there's no story for them.
All right.
I mean, think about it. It's been years.
All right. With the new Scream movie out in theaters now, how would you rank Scream movies, including the new one? We're not going to do rankings and questions.
I have a ranking on my channel.
You have a video coming out. Yeah,
I have a video, yeah.
All right. Go watch Zach's ranking. It's on his channel now. GGP, if you were Kevin Feige or Bob Iger and you had to cut some of the MCU projects coming up in order to have less content, which one would it be? Ooh, good questions. We can only pick one.
I would.
Because I'm easy. I'm cutting Agatha. I'm cutting Echo. I'm cutting Ironheart. Honestly, I'm cutting Marvel Zombies. We don't need an entire show of that. Movies.
You want me to tell you mine? Show Spider-Man freshman year. Why do we need it separate?
No, I want to see that. That one I want
to see it, but it has nothing to do with this world. I would rather get an Echo show where we're exploring more of Echo, where we're exploring more of Wilson Fisk. No. I'd rather get an Agatha show where we're exploring more of that world. Same thing with Ironheart. I fucking loved her character, and if it's true on some things I've heard about it, it seems like it's gonna be a fucking cool show. Plus, Ryan Coogler's producing it. He's like a major part of that production. So, I don't know. I don't know.
I also might change my mind eventually, but as of right now, I wouldn't be against cutting the Thunderbolts. That's just me. As of right now.
No. I'm so excited for that movie.
Right now.
If you actually want to know a movie I'd cut,
we don't have a
I'd cut Blade. It just seems like they can't get it off.
I wouldn't mind cutting Blade. Include him in Eternals. Include him in other. Do a show. I think a Blade show would work.
Mixed with Blade, like do a Moon Knight Blade fucking team up shit. I don't know.
Oh, that'd be fucking cool. Yeah. But yeah, out of the things we know,
this wouldn't make sense for like where they're going with Doctor Strange, but a Doctor Strange and Blade team up movie would be fucking awesome. Benedict Cumberbatch and Mahershala Ali.
I don't know that you throw in Blade, like introducing him into the MCU in a Doctor Strange thing. I would do the Moon Knight thing first. Lady Aaron, with Adam Driver's new movie 65, what is currently your favorite Adam Driver performance and your least favorite Adam Driver performance? I don't know about least favorite. The favorite is Marriage Story. Easy. No contest. Zach?
Sure, Marriage Story. I don't know. He has a lot. I'd really have to think about it.
All right. GGP, what are your guys' thoughts on cynicism towards certain films and even announcements, whether it's in film reviews or social media? Do you think people should be more open-minded about some films, even if they're skeptical? It might just be going over my head, but I would need like more specifics about what kind of cynicism. Because if we're talking about like a movie being announced and there's the synopsis and people are like, "Oh, this sounds stupid." I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like as long as you smartly reserve judgment to change your mind when new information comes out, but I don't feel I can give a proper opinion, proper thoughts on this because I'm just not seeing like exactly what you mean, and I apologize for that. So yeah, Zach, do you have any idea? Do you want to add anything?
Not really. No.
All right, Geek, what's a film nominated this year's Oscars that you've seen people shit about, but you will defend? Ren, I know will say Elvis. I haven't seen. Like I've seen 1, 2 people who didn't like Elvis, but I haven't seen people shit on Elvis because it's a fucking great movie. Movies this year people shat on, but I will
Avatar.
defend.
I'll probably fight one person a day about Avatar.
To me, I have not seen people like shit on movies that I'm like, oh, how dare you? Oh, let's fight. I have not seen that. So yeah. Lady Aaron, which category was the hardest for you guys to predict for this year, and one that you are not confident in your prediction
Best
at all?
actor.
Yeah, best actor. I had to tap out, as you all saw. I tapped out live on air. Best actor is the toughest at all. And it's the one I'm not confident. If I pick Austin, I'm not confident. If I pick Brendan, I'm not confident. So yeah. Lady Aaron, what are your thoughts on Everything Everywhere All at Once now being the most awarded movie of all time going into the Oscars tomorrow night? It shouldn't be. That's my thoughts, I guess. Yeah. But it doesn't really matter apart from the Oscars, the way I see it. So GOP, what are some past Oscar wins that made you so goddamn happy? J.K. Simmons for Whiplash, Viola Davis for Fences,
Emma Stone for
La La Land for 2 Minutes, best song for La La Land. Yeah. Olivia Colman for The Favorite. That was amazing. One of the greatest speeches ever. Colin Firth for A King's Speech, The King's Speech, not A King's Speech. So yeah. Do you have any others?
Emma Stone for La La Land.
Oh yes.
Mad Max winning a lot because I didn't think it was gonna win.
Yeah,
when Fury Road was
happened.
up.
Eric Thorpe just rewatched all the Narnia movies, and while that third one definitely is not very good, do you think if Disney had held onto the franchise and made the third film themselves, we would have continued to get more movies in the franchise? No, because it wasn't a matter of Disney. Because the problem wasn't Disney not holding on to them. They didn't hold on. They held on to them until the license or the rights ran out, and they didn't renew them. But they didn't renew them because it stopped making money. So I don't think it was a matter. I don't think the problem was Disney not holding on to them. I think they were not making money, and so Disney didn't care to hold on to them, which is unfortunate because the Dawn Treader is definitely not a very memorable movie, but it's all right. It's okay. It's not awful. I wouldn't even say it's outright bad. I wouldn't say it's outright good, but it's somewhat there. It's like, yeah, it's all right. It's the Scream 3 of the Narnia franchise. So yeah. Zach, what do you think?
I don't give a fuck. I like the first one. That was it. I didn't really care.
Second one is the best one. Second one is the best.
I never watched it. I don't care. I read all the books. I just don't care.
It has been. I never read the books. Nathan Madigan, will this year's Oscars broadcast see an increase in viewership from general audiences with mainstream movies like Avatar, Top Gun, and Elvis in the mix, or are the overall nominations too niche to draw interest? I think that's a really good question because all things being equal, what you bring up about those movies getting nominated, and if they really push that into marketing, we could see somewhat of an increase. At the same time, the past 2 years have left a very bad taste in people's mouth. I think, and I know we're all tired of listening of hearing about this, but one thing that could bring a little bit, and just a little bit, of the general audience back is the fact that last year people heard about the slap. And so people know that this year we're going to talk about the slap, as we should. As we should. Let's mine that shit. Absolutely mine that shit. So yeah, I think there could be a little bit of an increase. At the same time, The Last of Us. A lot of people would say, "Oh, it's not smart of The Last of Us to go on air the same night as the Oscar." It's not smart of the Oscars to go on the same on the same night as The Last of Us. The finale,
the same demographic,
especially
because I'm filming a reaction tomorrow for the Oscars. I'm going to stop watching the Oscars for that hour and go watch The Last of Us, and then come back, and then I'll just have someone tell me who won. But
so yeah, I think there are many ways, and especially the things you bring up, Nathan, that we could see numbers going up. But this year, there are also other factors that could see it going down. Nathan Holton, thoughts on Jenna Ortega potentially joining the cast of Beetlejuice 2? She's amazing, and she'll certainly make Beetlejuice 2 better with her than it is without her. But
do we need Beetlejuice?
It's a choice that feels too obvious, like to the point where it's of course you're going after Jenna Ortega for Beetlejuice 2, you know? So
Zach, it was originally supposed to be Sadie Sink. That was the thing. It was supposed to originally be Sadie Sink, and she dropped out. So.
Oh wow!
I don't know.
Okay. Nathan Holton, are you watching Daisy Jones and the Six? Yes, I am 2 episodes in. Zach, are you watching?
Don't give a fuck.
Watch it. You're gonna like it. You're gonna like it a lot. Watch it. I'm serious.
Too much.
Nathan Holton, thoughts on James Gunn directing Superman? I don't know there he is. I don't know.
Tom King.
He's writing it.
Tom King kind of.
Yeah, no, I saw that, but I don't.
He's directing it. I don't know why they haven't fucking announced it. He's fucking directing it. I'd be shocked at this point if he said he's not.
The next 2 questions from Nathan we've already covered. Nathan Holton, why do you think Scream 7 will be announced and potential release? I would see it over this upcoming week. Potential release. Let's go what we did on this past Scream. The last one came out in January. This came out in March. We'll get the next one in May next year. So yeah, I will not be shocked if we hear about it this week. What's it tracking for? Do you know? Do you have like
38 to 43 million, which would be the highest Scream film ever?
Yeah, so we'll hear about it this week.
The only thing holding this back is they're supposed to do Escape from sequel with Kurt Russell, Radio Silences. That's the only thing I'm curious. Is that film getting pushed back to do Scream 7? Because it's all the same studio.
Push it back. Or fuck that movie. Push it back.
I agree. I don't need another Escape. Give me another Scream film first. Finish out your trilogy.
Nathan Holton, excited for Shazam 2? Yeah, sure. I'm getting free popcorn at my screening, so I'm always excited for that. I know Zach has already talked about how excited he is. Nathan Holton's thoughts on John Wick 4, amazing reactions. Don't know, don't care. I've not seen the movie, so I don't care what others are saying, especially people who I don't know. Zach, have you seen any of these? Do you want to give any quick thoughts?
For what, John Wick?
Yeah.
I know someone who saw it last year, so I already know about the amazing reaction.
Eric Thorpe reviews. So DC has been beating Marvel quality-wise for a while now. The Batman did, not DC in general. Do you think the box office will reflect that anytime soon? If they actually do beat Marvel in quality in general, not just one movie, yeah, we will. But it will take a while because Marvel has garnered a lot of goodwill. And Marvel is still putting out good movies.
You want to know what else?
Just take my opinion. Look at the audience in general. Yeah.
DC also needs to market their films. They don't market their films. And this isn't DC. Warner Brothers has fucking sucked marketing their movies. The last good film they marketed was The Batman. Then Dune got some really good marketing because that film needed it. Every other film, great, bad, has had terrible marketing from them. Terrible marketing. Godzilla vs. Kong had decent marketing, but it could have been better. But like lately, their Shazam marketing is terrible. I hope you have everything muted because I just got spoiled on the fucking movie. Someone accidentally put out a TV spot they weren't supposed to. I don't know.
It wasn't accidental.
It wasn't.
It
That's
wasn't
fucking
accidental.
terrible. And
I haven't seen it, but today
it.
in the morning in our like group chat of the critics from here, from the UK, from London.
Someone.
I don't have a group chat from the entire UK, just the London people. And we share the tweet from David F. Sandberg, like he's telling people, hey, if you want to go into this film cold, do not watch the latest TV. Do not watch TV spots in general. Like, this is advice, not just for Shazam 2. Yeah.
I'm pissed. I genuinely
and I know two people in that chat, two people who have seen the movie. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's just that's what annoys me is that like Warner Brothers really needs to market these fucking things better. Like
Nathan Holton, thoughts on Swift Horses? It has a stacked cast. Never heard of it. Really, when I read the title at first, I thought you were talking about Slow Horses, the show on Apple TV. I thought he was talking about
a Taylor Swift song.
I don't know what this is. Nathan Holton, are you excited for Bike Riders? Hopefully a 2023 release. The name
Austin
sounds
Butler,
familiar,
Viking
but I'm
film with Tom Hardy.
Oh, the with Norman Reedus.
I could be wrong, but that's what I'm going to assume.
Tom Hardy, right? Yeah. Yeah, good cast. Bring it to me. I have no clue what it is about, but I'm curious.
Yep, it's that one. Yep.
All right. And that was the last question, everyone. That does it for this week's This Week in Geek. Again, next week on Saturday, I'm working, so there cannot be a show. Maybe on Sunday, if it all works out, if Zach can do it. If not, I'll do a quick Q&A. But 2 weeks from now, there can be a show. So even if we're not here next week, stay tuned for 2 weeks from now, episode 45. I don't know what we will talk about because we'll be 2 weeks removed from the Oscars. We'll be 2 weeks removed from The Last of Us finale, as much as I want to talk about all those things. So a lot of good stuff coming. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening to us. Zach and I have got good things coming to the channel over this week. And so come on by. Stay tuned to my Twitter for what I will watch tonight. At this point, I have no idea what it is. Might be 80 for Brady. Might be Dungeons and Dragons. Might be Super Mario Bros. Who knows? I don't. But thank you anyway for checking us out. And until the next one, love each other and love the movies. Bye-bye.